We're at the Big Data Expo in Utrecht. Good morning, Fergal.
Good morning.
Welcome. You're now leader in the Magic Quadrant for data integration tools. You must be quite pleased with that, as Talend. What is the main reason, do you think, to gain leadership? Is it the cloud proposition that you offered?
That's part of it. If you look at the Gartner Magic Quadrant, it's really measured on ability to execute and the vision of the organization. So Talend's been on a 10-year journey. So this is not an overnight kind of position or success. We built up 1,300 customers using our solution in production-ready environments. So it's a combination of all of those things, including the cloud, but also the actual offering of Talend in terms of breadth of solution for the multiple data integration problems that exist around big data, traditional data, streaming data, all of those things.
What do you think will be the differentiating factor to remain in the leadership quadrant of Magic? Will it be cloud or will it be otherwise?
It's interesting. We're the first new leader in that quadrant in 4 years, and we're the first open source vendor to be in that leaders quadrant. So that's a very, very interesting dynamic change in the market. The other vendors in there are kind of legacy and proprietary. So it is a major step change in terms of how the market sees open source as a tool for integration, and particularly big data integration. So we see that as being the next generation, if you like, of data integration, particularly around big data. And so it's a very natural evolution for us to go on, and we think that's going to be the winning strategy going forward.
We're in Utrecht here, the Netherlands. What opportunities do you see for Talend in Western Europe and the Netherlands specifically?
Well, the Netherlands is obviously a very evolved market for us in big data. We're seeing a lot of initiatives. We have 20 plus customers in the Netherlands already, some of the largest organizations here, and being very, very proactive in terms of the big data opportunity that they're pursuing. One particular example is a company called Spring. It's part of Dutch Sprouts, and they have a very, very interesting IoT type of implementation around big data. Basically, they have a portable soil lab, and that allows farmers in any part of the world to analyze the soil that they're using, send that information back to Spring, and they then recommend what fertilizers to use. So it's a very, very human implementation of big data, and a very useful use case in terms of helping people globally using big data as a solution to help that farmer get a better yield for his crops.
You've gone public, you did your IPO. What are the main strategic goals now that you've gone public? Will it be more product development, or will the main focus be new markets?
It's kind of all of the above, right? So it's corporate development is important for us in terms of potentially looking at acquisitions to fold into the broad breadth of technology that we already have. It's also about geographic expansion. We're under a very aggressive expansion plan in Europe, kind of Eastern Europe, Asia Pacific, and these areas as well. So it's funding the growth in those areas, but the business model is absolutely sound for Talend. We were cash flow break even there at the beginning of this year. So funds we've raised through the IPO will largely go to corporate development and potential acquisition.
Potential acquisition, interesting. Any names that come to mind?
None as yet, but if you look at data integration as a solution, it's a very broad set of technologies now. And so from time to time there will be particular components that we feel maybe it doesn't make sense for us to build them ourselves, and maybe to fold them in through an acquisition. So we would always be keeping an eye out for that in terms of what is the best use of our own resources to deliver the market-leading solution that we have and to continue to remain in that leadership position. So those fold-in acquisitions are always being looked at some level.
Well, thank you very much for the interview.
Great.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks for your time.